How to master time management, even if your personal development sucks. How much time do you waste every day? It's probably way more than you think it is. If you are not managing your time, you're not getting much done. And you're probably forgetting some important things. You know, worst case scenario, you're futzing around with social media or whatever it is that's your go-to time suck, and you forgot your kid at practice, and now they're upset with you because you lost track of time.
Or maybe you forgot to fix dinner.
Right, that's also bad.
Okay, guess what? Eating out again, kids. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right?
cholesterol, woo.
Woo, exactly.
If you watched our previous video, you know that you need to figure out what you're trying to accomplish, setting concrete goals that are measurable, tangible. You know if you have succeeded or not. It's not just some airy-fairy, I want to get fitter. It is, I want to be able to bench press this much by this date.
Right.
Type of situation.
Right.
And then once you have those goals set, you need to prioritize them and figure out which ones are the most important. You know, if you're, again in the fitness example, if you're an athlete training for, you know, the next competition, that should probably be your top priority. If you're in a relationship and it's not going too well, you should probably focus on making sure that that functions. If you're trying to get your raise, put as much effort as, you know, is reasonably possible toward getting your raise or whatever it might be.
Indeed. But like we said, we've already got another video on goal setting.
Exactly.
So this session, this video, is about time blocks, right? Blocking your time. Maybe you've heard that phraseology, maybe you haven't. I don't even know if phraseology is an actual word. I'm using it. Okay. But what you do is you think about all the things you need to accomplish, and I really like to time block a whole week. Okay, this is when I do these sorts of activities. These are when I try to do these sorts of activities. So you need to look at what are all the things you need to get done, right? If you run a household, if you have children, if you have a partner, romantic partner, business partner, whatever, there's these things you have to do together. But you've got laundry, you've got grocery shopping, you need to do exercise, you need to get work done, you've got possibly a commute if you work for someone else, right? Mm-hmm. You want to exercise, you want to rest, you want to spend time with your family, and you also want to play, right? We all want to build in some play time, but there's only so much time in a week, right? So if we need to make sure that we get the house clean, we need to make sure that we're getting food, if we need to, you know, it's like we're all sort of running around like hamsters on a wheel, and things pile up and things get ignored. And the things that tend to get ignored are the things that are not like the fire, right? There's a fire, we got to put it out.
Yeah, that usually gets dealt with.
But those things get dealt with. There's some urgency. The kids are banging on the door. Mom, I need this, I need that. So everything gets stopped and you go do that thing, right? So exercise gets ignored.
Eating healthy gets ignored.
We're not getting enough rest. There's all these things. So the first step is figure out all the things that need to get accomplished during the week, you know, during a week's time. And then get out a calendar. You can print them off of the internet like all day. There's a million of them out there that are free. You just download a weekly calendar that doesn't have dates on it, and you just say, okay, this is what needs to get done. I'm going to block my time here or there or somewhere else. Now, what I do, what works really well for me, because I'm a creative, right? I'm a 4-time best-selling author, and I also build a lot of online content, you know, programs where I'm teaching or doing YouTube videos or all that sort of thing. So I have a huge amount of time in my weekly schedule where I am doing what I call creation time, okay? So every morning I meditate first, then I go about looking at, okay, what are my goals for the day? What are the top priorities? What are the things I have to do? So that is like my goal setting or my planning or scheduling time. But as soon as that's done, I've got this huge block of time every single morning up until noon where I don't accept phone calls, I don't make appointments either, you know, in person or like Zoom calls. I don't schedule anything like that during that morning block of time. And I also, all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday is my time. I don't do any meetings, none of that stuff, okay? That has freed up so much time for me, I can't even tell you. But I still get everything else done, right? Laundry happens this day. You can go as far as figuring out, your menu for the week. A lot of people do that. They schedule out everything they're going to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 7 days, and they go grocery shopping with that in mind, and they have it all planned out so they don't have to guess and wonder. There's also another piece.
Cut out the distractions. Text messages, phone calls, if you take those at all, these days. Social media, just pointlessly scrolling on the phone. You waste so much time on these things. And if you're in the midst of a block where you're getting some stuff done, and we're going to talk about how to do those better in the next video, but if you're in the middle of doing some work and then the phone goes off, and then you go off and you deal with whatever that was, not only were you distracted, possibly wasting, 10 minutes plus on whatever just happened, it's also going to take a while for you to get back to work, if you can even get back to work in the first place. So, there was a video that kind of got me into this trajectory on all of these things, even though she's been doing it for a long time. She's mom. I'm not going to listen to her. But he said that, his big issue with all of these things was specifically his phone and Twitter and all of that. And so he would not turn it on during the morning hours, and during the days where it was really calling to him and he really it was almost impossible to not reach for the phone and just do that, he would lock that thing in his car, is what he said he would do on those days. And so, you gotta figure out your vices and also the just incoming distractions and cut them out during your serious work hours, because if you don't, you're not going to be getting much done, and what you do get done is not going to be as good as if you were just focused on that thing you were trying to do.
Indeed. And in another video, we're going to talk about how to do that focus time, right? We're going to do a whole thing on that. So I had on Facebook, I am on social media, right? So that I'm doing business on social media. So I have to be there. I check it periodically throughout the day, but I spend a very little bit of time on there. One day, I got a phone call. And it was, yet another sales pitch, right? And I was like, really? I paused my day to get this phone call, and it was somebody just trying to pitch me something, and I was angry about that. I was angry that I had allowed that to interrupt my day, and I was angry that these people call the phones all the time, right? So I ranted about that on my profile on Facebook. And Mark Joyner, I don't know if you know who he is, incredibly famous internet marketer and a friend of mine, he just sent me a DM, a private message on Facebook, and all it said was, never answer the phone. That's all it said, never answer the phone. And I started looking at that, and I was like, oh my gosh, how amazing would it be if I never answered the phone, right? So in my blocks of time, I have a block where I handle phone calls, right? If text messages come in and phone calls come in, I don't listen to the messages. I don't look at the text messages until it's the time of day to do that, right? And so you don't have that interruption that screws up your flow.
Right.
That was a brilliant thing that he said to me, and it really made a massive difference in how much productivity I get done every day. Yeah.
Now that you'll start blocking out your time and eliminating the distractions from your life, you're going to accomplish way more every day. Because you made it this far into the video, we know you'll love our future videos as well, so go ahead and leave this one a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or have any time management systems that you use yourself, go ahead and leave them in the comments below.
Until next time.